Welcome to Fight News Now Extra. John Pollock here with John Ramdeen and Robin Black. Still looking at UFC 185. We spent a lot of time on Monday chatting about the women's strawweight champion, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Another title change that occurred, Anthony Pettis dropping the lightweight championship to Rafael dos Anjos. Afterwards, Pettis noting he couldn't see out of his eye ever since the first blow of the fight. I'm sure that did impact his performance, but Rafael dos Anjos, this was the best performance we've ever seen from him.
Yeah, really amazing. Just he was prepared. I mean, I think he clearly, him and his team, clearly understood the threat that Anthony Pettis was, and the way that you beat this guy is to make sure you have all your bases covered and have your specific game plan. Robin and I talked about it. There was a certain route that Rafael dos Anjos could take to win this fight, and he did it.
Also with a torn MCL, no less, which came out afterwards. And you watch that fight and his takedowns, there was no hint of a knee injury. I mean, that was stunning news afterwards.
It was shocking, the upgrades that the guy has made. You know, there were a lot of people that were saying this could happen, and we weren't. Two of them or three of them, we weren't any of them. You know, we looked at this guy's skills, and he was a real threat. But that doesn't mean we say he's going to do it. We looked in detail at his pressure striking, how good it is, how aggressive it is, how he takes away space and pushes forward. The reason I didn't think that might be enough is because Pettis is so good at lateral movement and striking with power while moving backwards. He didn't really, whether it was something dos Anjos did or some holes in how he was able to execute, he wasn't smart with his feet that night. And that was a perfect time for dos Anjos to be able to get in. Also, dos Anjos, literally, a lot of guys feint, you know, use fakes to get you. Dos Anjos just throws with no tells whatsoever. It's from 0 to 100 to 0 again. So he did a lot of things right, and it was legit. It was a legit win. Sure. If you smash up your eye and you can't see it, that takes away depth perception. That's real. That's an effect. But why did that happen? Because he got punched in the face with a left hand by that man. He caused that to happen. So that is certainly no excuse. It's real, but it's not an excuse.
One of the things definitely he was working on was speed in preparation for Anthony Pettis. And we saw, what do you imagine some of the things that he was working on to increase speed in his punches?
I think among them is that lack of load, that literally being able to, like the way a sprinters go from literally nothing to fast instantly. He's able to do that. There's no like load to a punch. Sometimes you see a guy go to punch and they'll build into it. He would literally, it's efficiency. He built efficiency. Rafael Cordero built efficiency into striking. That increased his speed. It was super legit. I also didn't think that he'd be able to just work the pressure passing game and elbows and ground striking against Anthony because his hips are so mobile, his get-ups are really good, and his takedown defense is really good. I was wrong on that too. This guy, and this is no overestimating of Anthony Pettis. We either underestimated Rafael dos Anjos or we estimated him for what he was before, and what he is now is even better.
And it also seemed that he was kind of baiting Anthony Pettis on the ground. We know we've seen with Ben Henderson and with Gilbert Melendez, a very slick submission fighter. But for Rafael dos Anjos, it seemed that he kept putting that arm out there, you know, kind of dangling that carrot for Anthony Pettis to attack, just knowing that it's a waste of your time. You're going to keep trying to attack that.
You stay on the ground.
We're staying on the ground, and all it's doing is time is expiring because I'm going to be able to defend all of those.
Rafael dos Anjos might have had the best strategy of the entire night. Did Roy Nelson have the worst? We saw him at times where he was able to connect with Alistair Overeem, but then it was almost like it was just drilled into him. You go for the takedown, and this was even the case late in the third round where he's way down on the scorecards, and he's going for that takedown. I think everyone was very surprised that was his go-to.
Yeah, I think, but what we've learned over the last decade of mixed martial arts, when everything else is equal, size and strength matters. And both Roy Nelson and Alistair Overeem, they have experience. They know how to fight. That's the reality. But Alistair Overeem just physically superior and used that to his advantage and fought a very intelligent fight.
Yeah, you know, I'm not one of these people who says that, you know, analysts need to fight. But when you fight, there are certain physiological things that you experience that let you see what's going on. Sometimes you can read into it. And when your body is smashed up, it's so smashed up, your legs are on fire, his leg has been caved in, he can't really breathe. When he'd throw that one punch, he would literally store up 90 seconds of his energy with his broken down body to throw it. After that, it would feel nearly impossible to do again, and your brain kind of goes, if I can just get him down, I'll get to lay on him and take a rest. And it's just sort of a physiological response to that level of a beating, because that was a beating. Like any one of those shots on your body, and no matter how padded you are with burgers and stuff, it hurts so bad. Those sternum shots send electricity into your body. Those leg shots, it's hard to stand. The red stuff all in all that area. I mean, he was beaten up.
The jumping knees that he took to the face, the kicks to the head, his ears are ringing, his head is ringing.
Dana White went crazy about him being the toughest guy going, because Dana White sits at the side of a cage and sees guys take 1 or 2 of those and the night is over, and he took 15 of them.
There were also, we have Johnny Hendricks and Henry Cejudo, both men who theoretically could get championship fights in their next outings. I think for Johnny Hendricks, it's a lot more realistic, but it's going to be whether he wants to wait this long. Rory McDonald and Robbie Lawler aren't fighting till July the 11th, so you're looking at maybe December. If you're Johnny Hendricks right now, do you just sit back and there always could be an injury where he would be the first guy they call at this point? What's your move if you're Johnny Hendricks?
Yes, you are waiting, but at the same time, it comes down to the right matchup for you. If it's like, okay, well, they're offering me this fighter, as long as it makes sense stylistically, it's like, okay, well, this is less of a risk than this guy, or this guy. Yeah, you take the fight, but that's only if you're confident that, sure, my style will be able to beat his, and it's not going to hurt your stock, and you'll still get paid, and you'll still get that crack at the title.
No matter what, you stay 190 pounds or under, so you're ready. But Henry Cejudo, he gave himself a D in his performance. I gave him an A. It was badass. He's killer. He's the real deal.
He's someone that I think the flyweight division very much needs. And you know what? That first round, watching Sergio Pettis, he looked great in that first round before he gets stopped by Ryan Benoit. So the flyweight division, I mean, it had some interesting repercussions coming out of UFC at 185. For Robin Black, John Ramdeen, I am John Pollock. Stay tuned for more Fight News Now Extra.